Solo queuing, one of the most annoying fucking things to do in a video game. I get this question a lot. How the fuck do I rank up in solo queuing? It feels impossible. And to that I say, you can. No, but on a real note, it is possible to efficiently rank up in solo queuing. And before you say, but XDR, you don't even solo queue, you duo queue with that Jackie guy. No, fuck you. I don't only duo queue. And I have a lot of experience solo queuing in other games, so a lot of it does apply over here. I solo queued to fucking top 100 in Overwatch, so like, I got my fair share of dealing with shitty teammates and shitty people in solo queue. So I'm going to give you some tips on how you can efficiently rank up in solo queue and how to actually do it properly. So number one is going to be just general attitude you want to have towards your teammates, because a lot of people, I get it, people will piss you off and you want to say some shit back. But by all means, you should really avoid doing that. That's going to tilt your teammate, and you guys are just going to be fucking arguing over the mic the whole game, over who has the bigger fucking E-penis. And it doesn't matter if you have the fucking bigger E-dick, okay? What matters is that you win the game and you rank up, because that's your goal. Why are you playing ranked if you're not trying to rank up, right? So if teammates are giving you shit, ignore them. Keep calling out, because if you keep calling out, people are going to know, like, hey, this guy's actually trying to win the game, and it's going to bring the overall morale of the team up. Even if you're fucking getting stomped, there's always a way to come back and win. You got to keep that in mind. There's always a way to win the game, and you got to let your team know that through just calling out, communicating, and still trying to work with your team, even if you fucking hate their guts. And morale is one of the biggest parts about winning games in solo queue. If you keep that team morale up, you will have a much better shot. If your entire team is tilted, y'all are just going to be making stupid mistakes across the board, and the game's just going to it's just going to be over in the fucking blink of it. So keep that morale up. That is one of the biggest goals you should be having in solo queue. Keep the morale up. Maybe make a fucking friend or two, because everyone knows you're lacking friends if you're playing solo queue. So you can always find a good duo partner in doing that. Now with morale, that goes hand in hand with communication. You want to be constantly calling out to your teammates and coordinating stuff. But what you want to avoid doing is backseat gaming, because that shit is annoying as fuck. If I'm trying to play around, I don't want someone yelling in my ear every 10 seconds telling me what the best course of action is. Yes, you can give some input every now and then, but don't tell them how to play the fucking game. Don't tell them what they're doing wrong mid-round. And if somebody tells you you did something wrong, accept it. Just be like, okay, sure, I did that wrong. Or don't fucking argue it, okay? It's not that big of a deal. And if it comes down to an argument, just cancel that shit out. Don't start arguing. If you get a brain dead teammate that's literally like fucking drooling the entire game and he's still telling you what you're doing wrong, just ignore him. Just keep playing, doing your own thing, keep playing well, keep doing you. But remember, communication is always going to be key. Like I said earlier, calling out and coordinating shit is very important. If nobody's saying anything over the mic, maybe communicate, maybe try and pick up basically being an in-game leader for the game. Yes, in-game leaders and fucking pugs are annoying as fuck, but they get shit done a lot of the times. Don't get aggravated when the shit you try to do doesn't work either. Don't voice your frustration and be like, oh wow, you guys can't do anything, man. I'm done strat calling for you. Y'all can't follow through with the strat. No, just keep trying to adjust. Keep saying what you could have done better that round, and don't do it aggressively and very rude. Don't come across as a rude dickhead the entire game if you're trying to lead the team. While you are being an in-game leader, you want to constantly be thinking about what happens in the round and what you can improve on, and how to kind of passively bring across what you could do better without insulting your teammates. I know it sucks. You got to be a pacifist like the entire game, basically walking on eggshells around your teammates, trying not to tilt them, but that's how the fuck solo queue works. If you say one wrong thing to a teammate, they are going to tilt off the face of the fucking planet and they're going to throw. I know how this shit works, trust me. Now, along with communication, at the baseline, you want to make sure you have a decent team composition. If your team composition is ass, say you have a fucking Jet, a Phoenix, and a Viper, that shit's not going to work very well. You need to have some balance in there. So, if somebody picks Jet, and you know already, like, holy shit, this guy picked Jet, just feel for the team. Play a role that's useful. Play Brimstone or Sage. If you are very confident in your play, maybe play Phoenix, but you just want to be sure that you don't have way too much offense with lacking all the essentials like smokes and fucking healing. Because you need a Sage, you don't always need a Brimstone, but it's very good to have, and you're going to want an Initiator. So sometimes you're going to have to fill, and filling is one of the best ways you can actually play. You can fill for your team and get a decent team composition, even if you got some idiot that just picks one of the most random ass characters that just won't work in a certain type of map. Now, when you see these types of team compositions come out, which they're just the most random fucking things, you look like you put all the characters into a randomizer and this is what you get. It's not the end of the world. You can still win the game. And I can't emphasize this enough. There is never a point in the game where you have automatically lost. There have been so many games where I have, in my head, like, I'm like, okay, we fucking lost. But I keep going, I keep talking to my team, and I keep letting them know that there is still potential to win this game. And we come out on top by all fucking odds. We come out on top. Like, there are so many times when you feel like this game is going to be over the second it starts, and you win. If you tilt halfway through the game, that drastically decreases your chances of winning the game. So you need to be constantly on top of the team's morale. You need to be covering the holes that are constantly being put in the ship. So the key things to solo queuing are having a good team composition, having decent team chemistry and not bitching at each other the entire game over the stupidest shit, and keeping communication as high as you possibly can. Those are very important, but just note that there are going to be games where the enemy team just is better than your team, and you have to accept that. Not every game is going to be winnable, because sometimes you will just get a worse team. And I know it sucks, but it's just the way it fucking is. But most of the games are going to be fairly balanced to the point where if you are able to pull some strings, be that morale booster, be that bridge for communication, and be your best self, you will have a drastic impact on the game. It is very simple to look at it and say, hey, it's very hard to win solo queue because my teammates are always going to be ass. But it's also very good to look at it that you can be an extreme impact on the game. And it doesn't mean just getting kills. Your impact on the game could be that connection bridge. Like I said earlier, that is such an important role. And filling is also very, very fucking important. And not tilting, once again, is very important. There are so many aspects to solo queue other than just fragging the fuck out. So if you master, like, basically being a fucking therapist for your team and keeping morale up, communication up, and being overall that just great team player, then you will have much better odds at solo queuing. And if you are constantly doing this, as well as training your aim and learning the game as a whole, you can get to diamond easily through solo queue. It's not fucking impossible, trust me. And that's pretty much all I wanted to say in this video. I just wanted to go over some tips because a lot of people come into my Twitch and my YouTube chat and they're like, hey, how do I actually rank up in solo queue? And there's a lot to say about it, right? Like, it's not just a simple one-word answer. So I wanted to get this video out there so people can actually look at this and be like, okay, maybe solo queuing isn't fucking terrible, isn't as bad as people say it is. So I hope y'all enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a fucking like, join my Discord because my Discord is popping off. I got like 100 goddamn members in there. It's crazy. And aside from that, y'all have a fucking awesome day. I will see you next video.